I am a sinner. I am a sinner for good reason. Because Warhammer is expensive. I have a grown-up job, adults only. We've talked about it before on the channel. I asked y'all some questions about this grown-up job, and I thought it would be fun to go through them and answer them. I'm not suggesting that you do this adult job. It is just my experience. First question: did people judge you when you decided to open it? No, I didn't tell anyone for a while. I was actually dating somebody at the time. I'm cool. They obviously knew. I didn't tell my friends, and I didn't promote it. I just secretly posted on Reddit, and I was like, if my friends stumble across this, why are they looking at that kind of stuff? Do you think the new age confirmation rules in the UK will affect you as an SW? Okay, wait, if you don't know, up to speed quickly, the UK passed some sort of dummy law thing. You have to upload your private identity documents, like your passport, or do like a facial recognition thingy to be able to look at anything grown up. And a lot of websites have gone, we can't afford that, so you just can't access it anymore. Personally, I think that kind of accidentally helps the fan store, you know, the store that only sells fans. Yeah, I think it helps the fan store because nothing changes with that. You have to verify to use the platform anyway, just to make sure that no one underage starts selling or buying. So it stays exactly the same, there's no changes, and maybe it will push people to use it because it's like well known, it's like a trusted source. Best part about the job. Best part would be freedom and opportunity. Because of sinful job, I have been able to pay staff like Asher.
You're fed with porn money. Yeah, I'm sorry, bud.
I've been able to start streaming. I made a clothing brand. It's the only reason I can afford it and that I had the time to start. Mostly the afford thing. Clothing businesses are expensive. It does have a little bit of conflict in your brain sometimes because with it funding everything else, it kind of you can get in your head of like, well, you know, I make money from the fan store. Surely I should just really focus on the fan store instead of trying all this other stuff. So it's like a balance of like cash dollar versus like spiritual fulfillment. Would you recommend getting into it? No. It's a bit of a survivorship bias, I think. A lot of the workers you will see online have also kind of built social media profiles or whatever, and they became successful for that or other things, and you don't know about like the hundreds of people who aren't making any money and are struggling or hate it. I'm not gonna lie, it's not always sunshine and rainbows. Sometimes it sucks. I'm not like crazy sexual, so it's not like on my brain 24/7 or every day of the week. So sometimes it's kind of lame. If you want to rot and not care about your appearance and have a bad day, the brain worms don't allow. Do I ever regret starting? No. Does the work make you feel more or less confident in your body? More. Definitely more. People are paying for it, you know? Like, I think that's the ultimate compliment. It does affect real life weirdly. Like, if people aren't as complimentary in the real world, then you're kind of like, am I being lied to? Is this just an online only thing? And honestly, I think it kind of is. I think the type of things people are telling you in like a fan store DM is probably just like mostly just nonsense because they're just really horny. I'm still a prude. Saying horny made me like sweaty and hot. How do you get the confidence? Delusion? I have no idea. Is the pay on OF good? I don't know the actual stat off the top of my head, but there is a statistic. Most creators, like most make $150 or less every month. Like the average income is $150. So when someone is like 0.0 something percentage, it gets a bit crazy. Like that is a very tiny amount of people, and then the rest of the people aren't really making a livable wage. Just depends on how good you are at content and business, if there's a market for you, and luck. Getting lucky. How long do you think you'll do it for, assuming it has a shelf life for you? I'm nearly 30. I think MILF starts at like 30. I look fairly young. I don't smoke, I don't see the sunlight. I think I can squeeze out like a good 5 years. Hopefully. How hard is it to make content for the spicy site when you aren't in the mood yourself? This was something that happened more early on in my career because I was on that grind, which means making more content more regularly and more intense content. The early times were like, I'm gonna do this sinful act, but I'm not super feeling it, and also, you know, I'm not like crazy successful, so it kind of just feels like I'm doing it for nothing. As soon as you have like a platform and it's going well, then it becomes a lot easier to actually make the videos. The next picture was the spray stick with some Horus Heresy model sprayed on it, and then it gets back to questions. How do you go from it being around 500 to 1K per month to full-time? I think a little bit of luck, capitalizing on advertising and your kind of best content. I think if you've had anything pop off in the past, try to figure out what worked or what other people are doing that's successful, what is getting other people like viral or whatever, and then just try and make your own version of that. How did you promote when you started OF? I started on Reddit, and then when I hit 10,000 Instagram followers, at the time you got access to like the link feature in your stories, and I was like, all right, cool, well, now's the time. And then I merged, so I was like, oh yeah, I do this too. So it's kind of like two separate fan bases. My actual advice would be to make safer work content as your promotion, build up a personality, build up content that lots of people can relate to or enjoy. My reasoning for that is that people don't want to just see an OF model. They kind of want to see someone they like, and then, oh, I can also see sexy version of the person I like. Making content with Pebby, who's your friend, does it ever feel weird? Yeah, totally. Of course it does. I don't know. I'm better at treating the filming time as a job than being embarrassed, which is weird because I get embarrassed talking about stuff like this. But when it's time to lock in, I lock in. I'm on that grind. I'm on that hustle. Asha, cigar, and shades. Do you earn a lot of money at OnlyFans? Nice try, tax man. What do you think you would be doing if OF didn't work out? Like, did you have a dream job? My dream job was to make comic books. They got published in 2022, and I realized that it's super, super hard, and there's no money in it. I would have been broke. Does it ever get weird looking at your body so much in case you need to edit retake pics? Not really. I have this thing that I used to do. I don't know, I think I still do it sometimes. If I don't like pictures, I just kind of leave it for a bit, then come back to it, fresh eyes, no judgment, and if I'm still stuck in the mud about them, I kind of like swipe quickly just to get a bit of a glancing view at the image, because if I stare at it, I'm gonna find every single flaw, whereas a stranger staring at it, they're not gonna do that. They're gonna get more similar to the glancing image that I have by just looking at it quickly. At least I think so, and that's what I go with. You need an objective view and like a subjective view. So you can subjectively hate the image, but if objectively it's sexy as hell, girl, and it will do well, I just go for it. I just put it out because it's a business, and I want to do well. Is dating hard because of OF? It's never been a deal breaker for anyone that I've like gone on one date with or more or whatever. No one's like, anyone I've told, no one's been like,
deal breaker.
It does get complicated. Like, I went on a date with somebody and I told them about it, and they were like, I don't know if I would be comfy with someone I'm dating, like, hooking up with someone else. And I was like, I usually just do it with like partners. And then that same week I did the collab with Pibby because we got the opportunity. That's very conflicting. And I don't know what will happen in the future. I can't really guarantee because it's still work in my brain. So it's just, I don't know. I just that got to me, and I was just like, just give dating a rest. It can be difficult, but it's not ever stopped anyone from being interested in me. Flex. If you could go back in time, knowing what you know now, would you start your OF again? Totally, of course I would. I wouldn't be able to do anything without it. I would be living in a bin, drawing pictures, begging for granola. I probably wouldn't even find granola. God, the ramifications. Does filming content make you less enthusiastic about normal bonking? Nah, it's super different. Genuinely very, very different. One is like camera angles, a lot of stop-starting and adjusting, and lighting. God, lighting sucks, I hate it. And real life bonking is like passion, intimacy, I think. I don't know. If you feel like I am trapped in a horrible world of sin as my job, please feel free to rescue me. by buying from my clothing store or subscribing on Twitch. Thank you for watching. I will see you next week. You should come to the second channel because it's cool. Sorry, I'm hungry and I'm awkward. Bonking. This is really difficult to read out because I'm fucking prude. Inside me, there are 2 wolves. I like Texas. Nice fucking try, HMRC. Both are gay.